Good morning, students. So last class we discussed about the problem associated with the DC motors, that is torque, and problems on torque and also speed control methods of a DC motors. So, now we go for the problems on efficiency. I mean losses and efficiency, right? Look at the problem. So a 500 volt DC shunt motor takes a current of 5 amperes on no load condition. The resistance of the armature and field circuit are 0.22 ohms and 250 ohms respectively. Find A efficiency when loaded and taking current of 100 amperes. B percentage change of speed at the state precisely the assumptions are made, right? First of all, you have to observe the problem clearly. A 500 volt DC motor, shunt motor, takes a current of 5 amperes, right, on no load condition. So this is nothing but IA naught. So this problem is belongs to Swinburne test also. Terminal voltage is 500 volts, IA naught is 5 amperes, and the resistance of armature RA 0.22 ohm and RSH 250 ohms, 250 ohms, right? Now find the efficiency. First of all, we have to find the shunt field current. ISH is equal to V by RSH. So that is V 500 volts by RSH 250 ohms. So that means ISH is equal to ISH is equal to 500 by 250, that is 2 amperes. IA naught, now find out IA naught. IA naught is equal to, so I mean this one, IA naught, no load current minus shunt field, I mean IA. So 5 minus 2, that is 3 amperes. Therefore, no load back EMF EB naught is equal to 500 minus, I mean EB naught is equal to V minus IA naught RA. That is 500 minus IA naught is not 5 minus 2, that is 3 into 0.22, that is equal to 499.34 volts. Now, first of all, we have to calculating the no load armature current, then no load back EMF. First of all, we have to calculating the armature copper loss. Armature copper loss is nothing but IA naught square RA, right? IA naught square is nothing but this one, 3 amperes square. So this is 3 square, not 32. 3 square multiplied by RA 0.22. So that is 2 watts. And the motor input, generally motor is nothing but they given, suppose they given in kilowatt is nothing but that is the input, but they don't given here in the problem kilowatt. That's why motor input is nothing but V into IL, that is 500 volts and takes a current of 5 amperes. That's why VIL. So 500 into 5, that is equal to 2500 watts, right? So now find out the constant losses. Constant losses is nothing but input minus copper losses. 2500 2500 minus 2, that is 2498 watts. So now these constant losses are assumed as complete constant throughout the load variation. Suppose if load is off load or full load or 3/4 load, whatever it may be, the constant losses are not changing, right? So first now they are asking find the efficiency when the loaded condition and a current of 100 ampere. That's why I am again we are going to find out this is motor current. Motor current is 100 ampere, that is IL, and IA armature current is equal to, so IL minus ISH. ISH is not changing. This is the 2 amperes only, right? But current is changing. So at the starting no load condition, that no load condition is used to find the constant losses only, right? After finding the constant losses, now we go for the loaded condition. So at loaded condition they again given current 100 amperes, that is the IL value. Now IA is equal to IL minus ISH for motor, right? For generator IA is equal to IL plus ISH. So now IA is equal to IL minus ISH, that is 100 minus 2, that is 98 amperes. Now find the EB. EB is equal to again V minus IA RA. So 500 minus, here IA is nothing but 98 into RA 0.22, that is 478.44 volts, right? Now, so we have to find out copper loss only. Why? Because constant losses are not changing, constant are always same. That is already find out in the no load condition, that is 2498 watts. So as load varies, copper losses are varies. That's why you have to again find out copper losses. Armature copper loss is equal to IA square RA. Here IA is nothing but 98 amperes square into RA 0.22, that is, so 98 square into 0.22, that is 2110 watts. Now you have to find out the constant losses at the no load condition. So that no load, so no load condition or loaded condition completely constant. The constant losses are always same. But copper loss are different. That's why you have to find out copper loss at loaded condition, that is IA square RA. IA is 98 square into RA 0.22. So now total loss is nothing but copper losses plus constant losses. Copper loss at loaded condition, copper loss at loaded condition, that is 2110 plus constant losses 2498. Now total 4608 watts. Now input V into IL as usual. V 500, IL armature current, that is 100 amperes. Therefore 500 into 100, that is 50,000 watts. So therefore now find out motor output. Output is equal to input minus total losses. So first we have to find out the input. Input is equal to V into IL, 500 into 100 amperes. Then determine the output. Output is equal to input minus total losses. Input 50,000 watts minus total losses, that is 4608. So now output is 45,392 watts. So we know the output 45,392 watts and we know the input, that is 50,000 watts. Now determine the efficiency of a DC motor, that is output by input, that is 45,392 watts divided by 50,000, that is equal to 0.908. We are getting percentile into 100 multiplied 100, that is 90.8 percentile, right? So this is the efficiency and loaded current, that is nothing but, so this problem is completely related to the Swinburne test. First we have to find out the no load armature current IA naught, that is 5 minus 2 3 ampere, that is EB naught, then armature copper losses, then constant losses. So no load condition is used only for determine the constant losses only. Constant losses are always same if it is a no load condition or loaded condition. Now for loaded condition, you have to find out the again copper losses and then combine copper losses plus iron losses. That is the nothing but total losses. and determine the motor input V into IL, and then determine the output. Output is nothing but input minus total losses. Then efficiency of a DC motor is equal to output by input, that is equal to 90.8%, right? So in this way, the Swinburne test problem will be, so we have to execute it. First, determine the no load armature current IA naught. IA naught is equal to IL minus ISH. Then determine the armature copper loss at no load condition, IA naught square into RA. Then determine the constant losses, that is, so constant loss is equal to input minus armature copper losses. So input at no load condition, right? No load armature current is different, loaded armature current is different, right? So then loaded condition, they given when determine the efficiency when loaded and taking a current of 100 amperes. This is the IL. Loaded condition IL is 100 amperes. No load condition IL is 5 amperes. You just observe. First, we have to determine the constant losses, then determine the copper losses load condition, then combine both, that is nothing but total losses, then determine the input power, that is V into IL, then output power VIL minus total losses, then determine the efficiency, right? Next, they asking what is the percentage change of speed. Change in speed is nothing but generally n minus, so no load, suppose change is nothing but the speed is suppose we can consider 1500 at the starting 0. What is the change in speed is nothing but 1500 minus 0, that is nothing but 1500. So percentage change in speed is nothing but it is the difference between no load speed to full load speed, and it is expressed as no load speed, right? n minus n naught by n naught. So n, so for that we have determined this relation. We don't know no load speed, we don't know full load speed, but we know the back EMF at no load condition already determined 499.34 volts, and we know the back EMF at loaded condition, that is 478.44, and we know the relation. That is n by n naught. So n proportional to EB, right? N proportional to EB by pi, but it is a shunt motor, that's why pi is constant. So n proportional to EB. So n at loaded condition to the n at no load condition is equal to back EMF at loaded condition by back EMF at no load condition, that is 477.44 by 499.34. Otherwise, percentage is nothing but difference between. So 478.44 minus 499.34 by 499.34. We are getting minus 0.0418 in percentile, minus 4.18 percentage change in speed. So in this manner, you have to determine the efficiency and also percentage change in speed. Sometimes they are asking percentage back EMF, otherwise percentage torque, percentage change in torque, whatever it may be, change in torque or change in speed. So n minus n naught by n naught, otherwise t minus t naught by t naught, right? So like that we have to, suppose percentage change in voltage, V minus V naught by V naught, whatever it may be. So change in voltage or change in speed is nothing but, so one maximum value is available, one minimum value is available. So that is nothing but loaded condition value and no load condition value. So change in the two values, percentage change in the values, right? So now go for the next problem. So some of the people may access the slides, don't move the slides please. So next problem, so this is also related to the efficiency, right? So before problem we discussed already problem that related to Swinburne test. First determine the constant losses, then determine the armature copper loss at loaded condition, determine the input, determine the output, then determine the efficiency, right? But this problem is only purely related to the losses and efficiency only, right? So go to the problem. The armature winding of a 4-pole 250 volts DC shunt motor is a lap connected armature winding of a 4-pole, P is equal to 4, and terminal voltage V is equal to 250 volts. Lap connected, that is nothing but number of parallel path is equal to number of poles. A is equal to capital A is equal to capital P is equal to 4. There are 120 slots. So number of slots is equal to 120, and each slot containing 8 conductors. So slots per conductor is equal to 8, right? So first problems in generator, first unit. So determine the EMF. So Z is equal to number of conductors per slot into number of slots. There is nothing but number of conductors. Here also they given conductors per slot 8, then slots 120. So total number of conductors Z is equal to 8 into 120. That is the simple. Next, flux per pole is equal to 20 milliweber. Pi is equal to 20 into 10 power minus 3 Weber. Right. Next, current taken by the motor 25 amperes. Current taken by the motor is nothing but IL, loaded current. So you have taken the supply, right? Motor is nothing but supply is taken, that is IL is equal to 25 amperes. Then resistance and armature, resistance of armature and field circuits are 0.1 and 125 ohms respectively. That is RA is equal to 0.1 ohm, and RSH is equal to 125 ohms, right? Then if the rotational losses is 810 watts, they given rotational losses 810 watts, determine the gross torque, useful torque, efficiency. So this type of problems are important. So problem is related to the torque and efficiency, right? Gross torque, useful torque, then efficiency, right? So first, so we know all the values given data. A is equal to 4, V is equal to 50, P is equal to 4, Z is equal to 8 into 120, then flux pi is equal to 20 into 10 power minus 3 Weber, IL is equal to 25 amperes, and RA, RL, right? So from this, first determine the armature current. Armature current IA is equal to IL minus ISH, right? IL minus ISH. So we know the IL value 25 amperes, but we don't know the ISH value. So first, that's why we have determined the ISH value. ISH is equal to V by RSH, right? So shunt field current is equal to terminal voltage by shunt field resistance, that is 250 by 125, that is 2 amperes, right? Always shunt field current is minimum because of shunt field resistance is high, 100 to 300 range. So that's why ISH is equal to 2 amperes. Now armature current IA is equal to IL minus ISH, that is 25 minus 2, that is equal to 23 amperes. Now determine the as usual back EMF. EB is equal to V minus IA RA. 250 minus IA 23 into RA 0.1. We are getting 247.7 volt, right? 247.7 volt. EB is equal to
సార్
PPT
కనిపించడం లేదు సార్.
అది మీ నెట్వర్క్ ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటుందమ్మా, మీకు నెట్ ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటుంది, కొంచెం చూసుకోండి. ఎందుకంటే మిగతా వాళ్ళకి కనిపిస్తున్నప్పుడు మీకు కనిపించడం లేదంటే, ఇప్పుడు చూడండి ఒకసారి. మా ఇప్పుడు కనిపిస్తుందా?
లేదు సార్.
రిమైనింగ్ పర్సన్స్ కనిపిస్తా, మీకు కనిపించకపోతే మాత్రం మీ నెట్వర్క్
మాకు కూడా కనిపించట్లేదు సార్.
ఎప్పటి నుంచి కనిపించలేదమ్మా? ఇప్పుడేనా లేకపోతే స్టార్టింగ్ నుంచి కనిపించడం లేదా?
స్టార్టింగ్ నుంచి కనిపించట్లేదు సార్.
మరి చెప్పాలి కదమ్మా, దాదాపు 20 minutes పైన ఇప్పుడు చెప్తే ఎట్టమ్మా మీరు? ఇప్పుడు చూడండి అమ్మా, ఒకసారి కనిపిస్తుందా? రిమైనింగ్ పర్సన్స్ కనిపిస్తుందా లేదమ్మా? అందరికి కనిపించడం లేదా?
కనిపిస్తుంది సార్.
కనిపిస్తుంది. ఆ పర్టికులర్ పర్సన్స్ కనిపించలేదంటే మాత్రం నా ప్రాబ్లం కాదమ్మా, మీ దగ్గర నెట్ ప్రాబ్లం.
ఓకే సార్.
మీరు ఒకవేళ కనిపించకపోతే కొంచెం దూరంగా ఎక్కడైతే మీకు సిగ్నల్ బాగా వస్తుందో అక్కడికి వచ్చేనండమ్మా. లేదనుకుంటే నెక్స్ట్ రికార్డెడ్ వీడియో ఉంటుంది కదా, అదైనా చూడొచ్చు. సో ఒక్కసారి మీరు నేను చెప్పే విధానాన్ని అర్థం చేసుకోండి. లేదా ఎక్కడైతే మీకు క్వాలిటీ నెట్వర్క్ నెట్ వస్తుందో ఇంటర్నెట్, అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి కొంచెం సోపు వినండి. So now I am continue with the problem. So first we determine the EB 247.7 volts. So now first they asking determine the gross torque. Gross torque or armature torque, that is 0.159 pi z Ia into P by A. So by using that formula you can determine the problem. Otherwise, so we know the speed, right? So we know the speed, we know the back EMF. So by using that one, by using this formula 9.55 into EB Ia by N, so we can easily find out the gross torque or armature torque. So two formulas are available. Armature torque or gross torque is equal to 0.159 pi z Ia into P by A. By using that formula we can determine the armature torque. Otherwise, why? Because they given all the values, they given pi, they given z, they given Ia, we have determined 23, then P and A, all the values are available. So that's why you determine torque, armature torque, by using that formula only. Otherwise you have to determine this formula also, 9.55 into EB Ia by N. So why? Because EB is already determined 247.7, Ia is already determined 23, right? By N, speed is determined by using this formula. EB is equal to pi z N by 60 into P by A, back EMF formula, basic back EMF formula. They given pi 20 into 10 power minus 3, they given z is nothing but 120 into 8, that is 960 into N, we have to determine by 60 into P by A, 4 by 4. So that is equal to EB value 247.7. So for that we have determined speed is equal to 773 RPM. We know the speed, we know the back EMF, we know the armature current. That's why armature torque 9.55 into EB Ia by N. Otherwise 9.55 into output by speed. So 9.55 EB 247.7 into 23 Ia divided by 773. So armature torque is equal to 70.4 Newton meter. So then this is the gross torque, right? Then useful torque is nothing but this is useful torque. Sharp torque is nothing but useful torque, that armature torque is equal to sharp torque plus last torque, right? And so TA is equal to 0.159 pi z Ia into P by A, that is the gross torque. So I am not putting that one, that is my mistake. Just we have to observe gross torque or armature torque is equal to TA is equal to 0.159 pi z Ia into P by A. We have to determine that value. One is completed. Second one, useful torque is nothing but shaft torque. So that is armature torque is equal to useful torque plus shaft torque. So gross torque, this is the useful torque. TSH is equal to 9.55 into EB Ia by N. This is the useful torque or shaft torque, right? Just you have to determine that value also. Armature torque TA is equal to 0.159 pi z Ia into P by A. So 0.159 pi 20 into 10 power minus 3 z 960 into Ia 23. So that value, right? So next last one, efficiency. Efficiency is equal to, so we have to determine output and input, right? First output is nothing but Determine the motor output is nothing but input minus losses. Input is nothing but terminal voltage multiplied by load current. So motor input is equal to 250 into 25. So right, 25 amperes, 250 volts. That's why motor input is equal to 250 into 25, that is 6250 watts. Now output is nothing but input minus losses, but we don't know losses, but they given one loss, that is rotational losses. So rotational loss is equal to 810 watts, right? 810 watts. So but we don't know armature copper loss and shunt field copper losses. So first determine armature copper loss is equal to armature current Ia square Ra, right? Ia square is nothing but Ia 23 square into Ra 0.1. So this value is 53 watts. Shunt field copper loss is nothing but ISH square RSH. ISH square, ISH 2 amperes square. I'm not showing this one, just mistake. 2 square into 250. 2 square into 250. Shunt field copper losses, ISH square RSH. ISH square 2 square, that is 4 into 125. So 125 into 4, 500. So small mistake here. 2 square into 125. You have to put 2 square into 125. That is equal to 500 watts. Now they given rotational losses. So determine the copper losses, that is armature copper loss, shunt field copper loss. And they given rotational loss, that is constant losses. Now total losses is nothing but, so armature copper loss plus shunt field copper loss plus rotational losses, that is 810 plus 500 plus 53, that is 1363 watts. And it already determined the input 6250. Therefore output is equal to 6250 minus 1363, that is 4887 watts, right? So and here also determine the మనకు అవుట్పుట్ తెలుసు కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ షాఫ్ట్ టార్క్ యూస్ఫుల్ టార్క్ కనుక్కోవచ్చు. సేమ్ ఫార్ములా, ఇదే ఫార్ములా యూజ్ లేదా నేను చెప్పిన ఫార్ములా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, తప్పేం లేదు. నౌ ఎఫిషియన్సీ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు అవుట్పుట్ బై ఇన్పుట్, దట్ ఈస్ output is 4887 watts and input is equal to 6250, that is 0.782 in percentile into multiplied by 100, that is 78.2%. So in this manner you have to determine the efficiency also, right? Next problem. This is also same ditto problem. So before problem and this problem are same, but values are changing just. So as usual, ISH is equal to V by RSH 2 amperes, then IA is equal to IL minus ISH, that is 18 amperes. Then determine the EB value and determine speed, then armature torque. So ditto problem, that's why I'm skipping this one. So now, so another problem, this problem is related to this speed control of a DC motors. Look at the problem. A 250 volt DC shunt motor has a armature resistance of 0.25 ohm on load. So and it takes an armature current of 50 amperes and runs at 750 rpm. So look at the problem. A 250 volts DC shunt motor, that is V is equal to 250. Armature resistance Ra is equal to 0.25 ohm on loaded condition, right? And it takes armature current of 50 amperes. Ia is equal to 50 amperes and runs at 750 rpm. That is N1 750, right? Next. So just observe this line only. If the flux of the motor is reduced by 10% without changing the load torque, torque is same, but flux is reduced. Flux is reduced by 10%, that is pi 2 is equal to So 90% of pi 1. Why? Because 10% is reduced. Remaining flux is 90%. That's why pi 2 is equal to 90% of pi 1, right? And n1 is equal to 750. So determine the speed, new speed. New speed means after reducing the flux, what is the speed? If flux is reduced, speed increases or decreases? N proportional to EB by pi, flux controlled method. Flux controlled method is always used for above rated speed only. As reduce the flux, speed increases. Speed increases. Why? Right? ఫ్లక్స్ అని రెడ్యూస్ చేస్తే స్పీడ్ ఆటోమేటిక్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. ఇక్కడ ఫ్లక్స్ 10% తగ్గింది అంటే ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఇంతకుముందు ఉన్న స్పీడ్ కంటే నెక్స్ట్ స్పీడ్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవ్వాలి. అంటే మనం కనుక్కొని పోయే స్పీడ్ అనేది వాడు ఇచ్చిన స్పీడ్ కంటే ఎక్కువ రావాలి. దట్ ఈస్ ద అనాలిసిస్. సో నౌ we know the relation n proportional to EB by pi. Therefore n2 by n1 is equal to EB2 by EB1 into pi 1 by pi 2. This is not equal, this is multiplication. n2 by n1 is equal to EB2 by EB1 into multiplied pi 1 by pi 2. So because of n proportional to EB by pi, so we know the n1, that is 750 rpm. We know the pi 1 by pi 2. So pi 1 by pi 2 is nothing but 1 by 0.9, right? 90 by 100 is nothing but 0.9, that is 1 by 0.9. But you don't know EB2, EB1, right? They given n1, they given relation between pi 1 and pi 2, but we don't know EB1 and EB2. So first, we have to determine the EB1 and EB2. Please don't move the slides. Just listen, and we have to note down in notes also problem. So first EB1 is equal to V minus IA1 RA. So terminal voltage is same, resistance is same, but current is different. Current at loaded condition, current at another loaded condition, right? So EB1 is equal to V minus IA1 RA, that is V 250 minus IA 50 into RA 0.25, right? That is 250 minus 50 into 0.25, that is 237.5 volts, right? Next, determine the EB2. EB2 is equal to V minus IA2 RA, right? IA2 RA, but we don't know IA2. They given current at the speed. ఆ స్పీడ్ మనం n1 అనుకున్నాం కాబట్టి అది IA1, ఆ కరెంట్ IA1 50 amperes దగ్గర 750 rpm తో రన్ అవుతుంది. సో pi 1 IA1 n1, but we don't know IA2, but they given one relation. Say flux is reduced without changing the torque. Torque does not change, so torque remains constant. We know the relation torque is always proportional to product of flux and armature current, right? T is equal to 0.159 pi ZIA into P by A. Z constant 0.159 constant, P constant, A constant. That's why torque proportional to pi IA, right? So torque అనేది product of flux current కి proportionality ఉంటుంది. Torque constant before condition and after condition, that is nothing but TA1 is equal to TA2. That means pi 1 IA1 is equal to pi 2 IA2, right? So therefore IA2 is equal to pi 1 by pi 2 into IA1. IA2 is equal to pi 1 by pi 2 into IA1. We know the pi 1 pi 2 relation. Pi 1 by pi 2 is equal to 0.19, 0.9. So right, so therefore, and IA1 we know 50. Therefore by getting IA2, so 50 by 0.9 equal to 55.55 amperes. So simple, flux is reduced, armature current increases. When armature current increases, so automatically speed also increases. Why? Because back EMF increases. So therefore back EMF is equal to EB2 is equal to V minus IA2 RA, V 250, IA2 55.55 into RA 0.25, that is equal to 236.12. We know the EB1 value, we know the EB2 value, and we know the pi 1, pi 2 value. Pi 1 by pi 2 is equal to 1 by 0.9. We know the EB1 value is 237.5, EB2 236.12. Then determine the speed. N2 is equal to EB2 by EB1 multiplied by pi 1 by pi 2 into N1. EB2 236.12 divided by EB1 237.5 multiplied by pi 1 by pi 2 1 by 0.9. 1 by 0.9. The value is 828 RPM. 828 RPM, right? So just simple, same relation. Relation is same. N proportional to EB by pi, that is N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by EB1 into pi 1 by pi 2. So that relation is same for speed control, all speed control problems. But so you have to observe the line. That means they given some specification. So that specification is you have to observe clearly. Then torque is constant. Otherwise, torque is 20% of the loaded condition. Otherwise, double the torque. సో టార్క్ డబుల్ అయితే కరెంట్ కూడా డబుల్ అవుతుంది. సపోజ్ ఈ ప్రాబ్లంలో ఫ్లక్స్ రెడ్యూస్ అయిందని ఇచ్చాడు, టార్క్ కాన్స్టెంట్ అని ఇచ్చాడు, మనం IA2 కనుక్కున్నాం. అలా కాకుండా ఒక్కోసారి టార్క్ డబుల్ అయింది అంటాడు. టార్క్ డబుల్ అంటే కరెంట్ కూడా డబుల్ అవుతుంది. ఇది 50 amperes అయితే IA2 100 amperes అయిపోతుంది. సో జస్ట్ స్పీడ్ కంట్రోల్ ప్రాబ్లం రిలేషన్ N ప్రపోర్షనల్ టు EB by pi. సో అది సేమ్ డిట్టో రిలేషన్, బట్ that specification one line is given. Depending upon that line we have to determine the remaining speed, right? So next problem. So this is also related to the speed control, but we don't determine the speed, we determine the extra resistance. So that means, so before problem is related to the flux control method, but this problem is related to the armature control method. What we are doing in the armature control method? We are adding some extra resistance with the help of rheostat. Whenever we are adding the extra resistance with the help of rheostat, the armature resistance is increases. When armature resistance increases means armature current decreases. Armature current decreases means back EMF decreases, such that speed decreases. So ఎంత రెసిస్టెన్స్ యాడ్ చేస్తున్నారు మీరు, ఎంత రెసిస్టెన్స్ యాడ్ చేస్తే స్పీడ్ ఎంత అవుతుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబ్లం. దట్స్ వై దిస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఈజ్ రిలేటెడ్ టు ది ఆర్మేచర్ కంట్రోల్ మెథడ్. బట్ బిఫోర్ ప్రాబ్లం ఫ్లక్స్ రెడ్యూసెస్ సచ్ దట్ స్పీడ్ ఇంక్రీజెస్, దట్ ఈస్ ద ఫ్లక్స్ కంట్రోల్ మెథడ్. బట్ దిస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఈజ్ రిలేటెడ్ టు ది ఆర్మేచర్ కంట్రోల్ మెథడ్. సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు డిటర్మైన్ హౌ మచ్ ఎక్స్ట్రా రెసిస్టెన్స్ ఈజ్ యాడెడ్ టు ద ఆర్మేచర్ సర్క్యూట్ such that the motor is running this type of load, this much of speed, right? So once I look at the problem, a shunt motor runs at 1200 rpm, right, on a 420 volt circuit. So they given N1 is equal to 1200 rpm, V is equal to 420 volts. Now current taken in 30 amperes, current is IA1, now to take in 30 amperes in addition to the field current, right? So what resistance must be placed in series with the armature circuit in order that the speed may be reduced to 600 rpm, right? అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా? సో దీన్ని బట్టి మీరు మనం ప్రాబ్లంని థియరిటికల్గా అనలైజ్ చేసుకోవాలి. సో ఎంత రెసిస్టెన్స్ని మనం యాడ్ చేస్తే స్పీడ్ అనేది 600 తగ్గుద్ది. ఇంతకుముందు స్టార్టింగ్ ఎంత ఉంది, 1200 ఉంది. సో ఆ 1200 కాస్త 600 కావాలంటే నువ్వు ఎక్స్ట్రా రెసిస్టెన్స్ని, ఎంత రెసిస్టెన్స్ని నువ్వు ఆర్మేచర్ సర్క్యూట్కి యాడ్ చేస్తున్నావు, దట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబ్లం, రైట్? సో అండ్ కరెంట్ త్రూ ద ఆర్మేచర్ వైండింగ్ సేమ్, ఆర్మేచర్ కరెంట్ ఈజ్ సేమ్ బిఫోర్ కండిషన్ అండ్ సేమ్ ఆఫ్టర్ కండిషన్. దట్ మీన్స్ IA is same for, that means 30 amperes, 30 amperes. IA1 is 30 amperes, IA2 is also 30 amperes. There is no problem, right? So but RA, armature resistance is 3 ohms given, right? So we know the relation as usual, N proportional to EB by pi, N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by EB1 multiplied, this is not equal, multiplied pi 1 by pi 2, right? N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by EB1, pi 1 by pi 2. But it is a shunt motor, right? Shunt motor flux is constant. Pi 1 is equal to pi 2. Therefore, that relation is reduced to N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by EB1, right? N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by EB. But what is the EB formula? V minus IA RA. But this is armature control method. That's why V minus IA into RA plus R external. నువ్వు ఎంత యాడ్ చేస్తున్నావు అది, right? So N2 by N1 is equal to EB2. So in EB2 only we have to add the resistance V minus IA into RA plus R external, right? But EB1 as usual, same V minus IA RA. So for that we have to determine first EB1, V minus IA RA, 420 minus 30 into 3, that is 330 volts. Now EB2, V minus IA RA plus R external, RA plus R external. So and ఎంత resistance ని యాడ్ చేస్తున్నాం, RA తెలుసు ఆల్రెడీ మనకు. సో EB2 is equal to V 420 minus IA 30 into R external, we don't know, plus RA, just put in RA. After that last we have to substitute RA value. So we know the N2 value, we know the N1 value, and we know the EB2 value, we know the EB1 value. Substitute all 4 values in that above equation. N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by EB1. N2 600, N1 1200. 600 by 1200 equal to EB2 420 minus 30 into R external plus RA divided by, so EB1, that is 330. Now, so we have to adjusting and calculating the R external plus RA is equal to 8.5 ohms. R external plus RA is equal to 8.5 ohms. We know the RA value, that is 3 ohms they given. Therefore, R external is equal to, so 8.5 minus RA, that is 8.5 minus 3, that is equal to 5.5 ohms. Therefore, R external is equal to 5.5 ohms. So this is also sometimes they asking like this. So this is related to the armature control method. So we have to add in 5.5 ohms resistance through the rheostat, to the in series with the armature circuit. So that means total resistance is 5.5 plus 3, 8.5 ohms. But they are asking how much resistance is added to the armature circuit such that the speed is reduced to 600 RPM. That means, so we are adding extra resistance is 5.5 ohms, right? So like that, speed control method, flux control method, armature control method. This is also related to the speed control method, right? A 220 volts DC series motor. So before problem shunt motor, but this is series motor. Shunt motor flux is constant, but series motor flux is always proportional to the armature current. Why? Because all are in series. In series motor, IA is equal to ISC is equal to IL, right? That's why flux is always proportional to the armature current. That is the only difference. In shunt motor, flux is constant. In series motor, flux is proportional to IA. So a 220 volt DC series motor is running at a speed of 800 RPM and draws 100 amperes. Calculate at what speed the motor will run when developing half of the torque. Armature flux resistance is 0.1 ohm. Assume magnetic circuit is unsaturated. So this is the last problem. After this problem, so our class is ended today, right? So some of the problems also remaining that may discuss in next class, right? So we know the relation as usual, N proportional to EB by pi, N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by EB1 into pi 1 by pi 2, right? So for shunt motor, flux is constant. That's why N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by EB1 before problem. But here this is a series motor. Flux is always proportional to the IA, right? And one small specification is given. The torque will run when developing half of the torque. Torque is reduce అయిందంటే torque reduce అయితే automatically current కూడా reduce అవుతుంది. So that is the simple thing. So we know the N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by E1 pi 1 by pi 2, but pi is equal to IA and torque proportional to pi IA. So pi బదులు IA substitute చేస్తాం. So torque proportional to IA square. That means T1 proportional to IA1 square, T2 proportional to IA2 square. So by using this relation, we have to determine the IA2. T2 by T1 is equal to IA2 square by IA1 square. So T2 by T1 half, ఎందుకంటే టార్క్ సగమైంది. So compared to previous torque, present torque is half. Therefore T2 by T1 is equal to half. IA1, so they given 100 ampere. So why? Because IL is equal to ISC is equal to IA is equal to same, that is 100 amperes. So half is equal to, so IA2 square by 100 square. Therefore IA2 square is equal to 100 into half. So that 20.7 amperes, right? So we know the EB value, V minus IARA and EB2. So some of the people may move the slides. Please don't move the slides. So EB1 is equal to V minus IA1 RA, that is 220 minus IA1, 100 minus RA 0.1, right? So after then EB2 V minus IA2 RA, 220 minus IA2 70.7 into RA, so 0.1. Here RA is nothing but RA plus RSC. Directly they given armature plus field resistance, both are given 0.1. That's why I'm putting RA. So after finding the EB1, EB2, we know the relation N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by EB1, and pi 1 by pi 2 means IA1 by IA2. So we know the EB2 by EB1 values, we know the IA1, IA2 values. Therefore N2 by N1 800 equal to EB2 212.9, EB1 210 multiplied by IA1 100 divided by IA2 70.7. We are getting the speed is equal to 1147 RPM, right? That means this is also related to flux control. Speed is increases, right? So okay, is there any doubts? Please ask me. So next class we'll discuss about some of the problems. So generally this problem, this type of problems are all enough, but we'll discuss some more problems. So next class onwards, in the next class, right? Okay, any doubts?